In this video, I'll give you some beginner tips on how to start playing my winter car and not go crazy, especially useful if you've never played my summer car before. My winter car is not a casual driving or life sim at all, and I will tell you straight up that it is a hardcore survival experience set in rural Finland in the 1990s where every small mistake can end your save. The game mixes deep car mechanics, daily life management, and brutal winter survival into one package, and surviving here is tough because the systems are layered and unforgiving. You have to manage your house heat using radiators in every room because freezing is a real threat, and on top of that the game has permadeath, so if you die your save is gone and you start from zero, no mercy. From learning how to drive your first car to getting a job to simply staying alive in freezing weather, everything matters. Driving itself can be challenging, especially if you are not used to manual cars because the sequence actually matters here. If you drive manual IRL, you will feel more at home, but you still need to respect the cold because it affects how your car behaves. Before starting the car, you must make sure the block heater cable is disconnected, then get inside and press enter to take control. Press the ignition with left mouse button once to insert the key and power the electronics, and if the engine is cold you must pull the choke from the left side of the steering wheel. To actually start the engine, hold left mouse button on the ignition to crank it, and once it runs you will see that the car starts in neutral, shown by the N on the bottom right of the screen. After driving for a bit and once the engine warms up, you push the choke back in with right mouse button. Use W to give gas when in gear, S to go backwards in reverse, lift the handbrake before moving, and remember the clutch is on X unless you turn on auto clutch in settings. On top of driving, you must constantly watch your player stats shown at the top of the screen because ignoring them can literally kill you. Problem, hunger, stress, urine, fatigue, cash, body temperature, and sweat all matter. The problem bar replaces the old thirst system and represents alcohol dependency, so you manage it mainly with beer and alcohol rather than water. Hunger will kill you if ignored, so you need to eat food bought from PSK or Pub Napo, with moose meat being one of the best options, while drinks only reduce hunger slightly. Stress builds up over time and from bad events, and you lower it by doing fun or risky stuff like drinking coffee, driving fast, chopping firewood, swearing, using the sauna, eating grilled food, winning races, or just surviving life. Urine fills fast, especially when drinking, and if you ignore it, you can die, so press P to relieve yourself or you will regret it. Fatigue builds up when you stay awake or work too long, and you must sleep on beds, sofas, benches, or even in vehicles like the Gifu to avoid. Blacking out with high-speed driving slightly reducing fatigue too. Body temperature is critical in winter, so you need the right clothes for the situation, use heaters, warm buildings, cars, or fireplaces, and avoid hypothermia. Wearing too many clothes in warm places causes sweat, and sweating is dangerous because it makes your body temperature drop much faster once you are back in the cold. Heavy outdoor clothes inside heated buildings or sprinting too much will spike sweat, so balance your layers smartly. Cars also need fuel, and sooner or later you will have to refuel at one of the gas stations on the map. Park at the pump, get out, interact with the card terminal, insert your credit card, enter your PIN, choose the amount you want to spend, then select the pump number. After that, pick up the nozzle, fill the car until the bar finishes, and put the nozzle back properly because if you mess that part up the payment will fail. All of these systems together are what make my winter car brutal, but also insanely satisfying once you start understanding how everything connects. Purchase Chorus Rivet. Chorus Rivet is your main project car in my winter car, and building it is basically your core goal during early access, so I will tell you exactly how to get it. You can buy this car from the seller for 500 MK, but don't expect to drive it right away because it comes unfinished. First, you need to go to the PSK gas station and look at the advertisement board on the right side, where you will find the seller's phone number, and it's a good idea to write it down so you don't forget it. After that, you get back into your car, drive all the way to your apartment, and interact with the phone. Now you must enter the correct phone number using the keyboard, and once you dial it, you just wait patiently for the seller to answer. Listen carefully to what he says and do not hang up early because the call only counts if he ends it himself. After the conversation is finished, his location will appear on your map, and that's your green light. You now need to drive to the marked spot, but only during the daytime, because if you go there at night, the NPC will not spawn at all and you will waste your time. Once you reach the firewood guy and talk to him, you can finally buy the chorus rivet. You will also find some spare parts at the purchase location, so make sure you grab them and throw them into the trunk of your current car because they will be useful later during the build. 5. Set the alarm. Setting up the alarm properly is super important if you want your day to start smoothly. The office job starts at 7 a.m. and I will tell you straight, you will not reliably wake up on your own, so you should always set the alarm. The best setup is to set it to 6 a.m. so you have some breathing room. The alarm clock in my winter car works based on your fatigue level, which means it will only wake you up if your character is actually tired enough. You set the wake-up time using the button on the left side of the clock, then you must flip the switch on the right to turn the alarm on, because if you forget that switch, nothing will happen. If your fatigue is low, your character might wake up randomly before the alarm and the alarm will never ring, so don't be confused when that happens. Sleeping while very fatigued can even make you wake up slightly earlier than the time you set. Also remember, you cannot sleep in a freezing room, so turn on the heater, wait until the temperature goes up, and only then try to sleep. 6. Defrost a car. Defrosting your car in my winter car is not optional. It is mandatory if you want to see anything while driving. The cold weather causes the windows to ice over fast, and with frozen glass you are basically driving blind. You can remove the frost by scraping or by using the heater, and the best method is combining both. Open the car door, get inside, hover over the ignition, and press once to insert the key so the electronics turn on. On the right side of the dashboard, you will find the window heater controls, including a square button and the blower. Press the blower twice to set it to a stronger mode, then use the scroll wheel to adjust the temperature. There is also a separate button for the rear window heater, and pressing it will only heat the back window, which is great for reversing later. Just remember that the heater does absolutely nothing if the blower is turned off, so always check that first. To direct the hot air properly, move the top lever all the way to the right so the airflow hits the windshield and cabin, then move the bottom lever to the left to increase the heat output. Once the heater is running, scraping becomes way faster. Get back outside, move close to the window until the scrape prompt appears. Hold left mouse button and scrape downward starting from the top of the glass. Do it slowly and clean the whole window, and once the frost is gone, you are finally ready to drive safely. Eat food to reduce hunger. Eating food is absolutely mandatory if you want to keep the hunger bar under control in my winter car, and I'll tell you straight, you can't ignore it for long. First, you need MK because nothing is free here. Drive to the PSK fuel station, which is located west of your apartment, and head inside the store. In the grocery section, you can buy basic food like sausages and drinks, and these are perfect early on to stop your character from starving. If you want something more filling, you can also grab a proper meal from the cafe. Walk up to the counter, choose the meal you want, then interact with the NPC behind the counter and place your order. After a short wait, your food will appear on a tray. Pick up the tray, carry it to the seating area, put it on the table, and eat calmly so your hunger bar actually goes down. 8. Learn to use an ATM. Using the ATM in my winter car is super important because without cash access you won't be buying food, fuel, or anything else. At PSK, once you enter the mart, you'll find the ATM on the right side. Insert your credit card into the slot to start. Now you need to enter a PIN code, and this part matters a lot. The first pin you ever enter becomes your permanent pin for the rest of the game, so remember it. You will also use this exact same pin later when you prepay for fuel at the pump. Inside the ATM menu, you can choose different options like Top Attunement if you want to check your transactions or statement, and Auto if you want to withdraw cash from your bank account. Select the amount you want from the available options, and if you want to see the details on the screen, choose Nay Toll. Always take your card back before leaving, and remember you can come back anytime to check your balance or grab more cash. 9. Don't let the car's battery die. Your car will only start properly if the battery is in decent condition, and I'll tell you, a weak or dead battery can ruin your day fast. Leaving things like the blower or lights on will slowly drain the battery, so you should always turn off all electrical systems before leaving the car. If the battery dies, the car won't crank properly, and even though it's not an engine failure, it will feel like one because the car simply refuses to start. A classic beginner mistake is leaving the heater or blower running and walking away to do other tasks. Another mistake is forgetting the lights overnight. Parking the car cold without thinking or misusing the block heater can also make things worse. Always use the block heater correctly to warm the engine, but remember to unplug it before starting. Before you leave the car, double-check that the lights and blower are off, because prevention here is way easier than fixing a dead battery later. 10. Get a job to earn money. To actually progress in my winter car, you need a steady income, and that means doing jobs. One of the most reliable starter jobs is the advertising distribution job, which you unlock by dialing 08 to 31 to 06 on your phone. Once you call the number correctly, this job becomes available, and it's a solid way to earn money early. Another option is the packing job near Fleetari, but for that you must apply in person. Drive to the large office building near the bridge on the southeast side of the map, right next to the asphalt road, because it's easy to miss if you're not paying attention. Go inside and talk to the woman you meet first. She will tell you that the boss is available. Walk to the boss's office and stay close to him because he starts moving and talking on the phone. You must follow him and keep the dialogue going by pressing the K key. If you walk away even for a moment, the dialogue stops and you won't get the contract. Wait until he finishes, then sign the contract when it appears on screen. The job officially starts at 8 a.m. next Monday, so if the work door is locked, it just means you arrived early. Thanks for watching. I would be very happy if you would become one of the subscribers of this channel. Check out the suggested videos and also leave a like under this video. See you soon.